What up, y'all? LocsNLoad Firearm Reviews here today. With Gun the Nation, what's up? Alright guys, so I was sitting around thinking this morning, what would be my perfect AR-15? Like if I could sit down, write out a list, and pick out the parts for my perfect AR-15 and how much would it cost? What would that AR-15 be? I mean, of course, how much would it cost? Alright, so I actually did that. I actually sat down and wrote out, I believe, every single part for an AR-15 that you're gonna need in order for it to go, to operate. I mean everything, y'all. Not just the rifle itself, but the optics, and all that stuff. So, you guys want to hear what I got? All right, let's start. We're gonna start typical Navy fashion from the tip. All right, so first we're gonna start with the muzzle device. My muzzle device is gonna be the Surefire War Comp. That's coming in at $149. I'm going with the War Comp because it gives me both flash suppression and a little bit of compensation to help reduce that muzzle rise. So I think it's a good, I think it's really one of the best muzzle devices you can get out there. Then it's it's made of solid metal, so if I gotta bash out a window or butt stroke something with it, it's not gonna bend and break on me. So I think it's good to go. And then it's gonna go with something else later on in this list. Some of you already know. Alright, so that is the muzzle device at $149. Alright, next we have our barrel. So I decided for my perfect AR-15, it's gonna be able to do everything. So it's gonna be like a mini recce, basically. So what I have is a Criterion 223 Wild Hybrid Profile Carbine Length Chrome Line 12.5 inch 1-in-8 twist barrel. That's a lot, right? And that's coming in at $289.99. And so I'm going with this barrel because after doing my little research, watching videos, and of course going through the Google, everybody got to go to Google, and also talking to people who own 12.5s, looking at the ballistic data on it, velocities, and what it's able to do. I feel like a 12.5 barrel is good to go 0 to 500 yards. That's basically what I'm looking at for my perfect AR-15, is a good 0 to 500 yard gun. I don't need to be shooting 1,000 yards like that, so 0 to 500, and the 12.5 is good to go in that aspect. I was watching Triarch's little video. They were able to get hits with their 12.5s out to 930 yards, I believe. So that definitely right there opened my eyes, like, okay, bet. So that's the barrel I'm gonna go with for my perfect AR-15. I almost said AR-500. That's my perfect AR-15 barrel for 0 to 500 yards, and yet at the same time keeping it short enough if I had to use it for CQB or vehicle use. Right? And so the next few items are they're not necessarily criterion, but they're options. Like when you pick the barrel, they have options down there. So, and I went with these options because basically, keeping short, keep it in the family. So basically, when you buy all these items with the barrel, Criterion will fit it all together to make sure everything will work. I'll explain as I go through the list. All right. So the gas system, the gas block I'm gonna have on my barrel is of course coming from Criterion, but it's the Badger Ordnance TPX gas manifold 0.75 stainless steel gas block, and that's coming in at $69. I'm going with this gas block because I'm not going for anything too special, too wild, and then again, keeping it in that house, this is coming from Criterion, so it's going to be fitted to the barrel. It's not just going to be a gas block from some other manufacturer that might not have the right fitment because it's not made for that barrel. I'm sure people want to ask, adjustable gas block, yada yada. You could, but it's not a huge deal. It does help, especially shooting suppressed, but it's not a huge deal breaker. Alright, so that's the gas block. Alright, so the gas tube I'm gonna get is gonna be a BCM gas tube. again sold by Criterion. As far as the bolt carrier is going to be a Headspace BCM full auto bolt carrier, again coming from Criterion, and that's coming in at $199.95. If I didn't say the gas tube, BCM gas tube was $15. Alright, so I'm going with this this bolt carrier because again it's coming from Criterion, and Criterion is going to Headspace that bolt carrier properly to the barrel, and that right there I like because it keeps optimizes the performance of your firearm. So that is why I'm going with the gas system and the bolt carrier and the barrel all from one company, because when I get it, it's all going to be fitted together for that one package and not just a whole bunch of parts from different companies that may or may not fit right together. So that's why I went with that in that option. I want a very accurate rifle, so I want something that's going to fit well and be made for each other. So that's going to give me the best performance out of that rifle. Alright, so coming in at the handguard, we're going with the Midwest Industries Combat Rail one piece free float M-LOK rail. That's coming in at $169.95. I'm going with the Midwest Industries rail. It's nothing too special. I'm not really nuking this build. I'm just going with solid products that I know is gonna work and is not gonna fail me when I need to put my life on the line. And Midwest Industries is a really is a solid rail, great company. So I don't feel any doubts. I don't feel any regrets if I had this rail on my rifle. I know it's good to go. And like I said, it's coming in at $169.95. Alright, and so moving on to the receiver set. Alright, so the receiver set I'm going to get is the American Defense Manufacturing receiver sets, the ADM receiver set. I'm going with this receiver set because it's one of those ambi receiver sets, so I can use it lefty or right, and the controls are the same on either side. And at the same time, the upper and the lower fits together because it's a set. So I'm not gonna get one that's all wobbly because it's it's a Anderson lower with like a Ruger upper, so they weren't made together, so they got this slop in there. I want my receiver set to be good to go, no slop, just almost like, again, made to go together, because I want it to be a solid build. Real solid, like one of those rifles, like when you shake there's no wobble to it. That is a solid rifle in my eyes. Alright, and again the receiver is 7075 T6 aluminum. The receiver set is coming in at a whopping $485.95. Yes, definitely one of the most expensive things on the rifle. But yet again, it's made to go together, so I know I'm gonna have a solid upper and lower receiver set. Alright, as far as the charging handle, I'm gonna go with the Radian Raptor Light LT. It's the lightweight version, and it's still ambidextrous, and it's made from Radian, so it's a solid charging handle that's gonna be able to take all the abuse I can throw at it. And that's coming in at $50. Alright, I put lower plates. What is lower plates? Alright. Oh, no, okay. Lower parts. I'm sorry, guys. My handwriting sucks. The lower parts kits. Okay, the Daniel Defense lower parts kits. I like their safety selector. I like their little, their trigger guard on there. And I like how it's a good reputable company, so I know all the parts I'm gonna get from Daniel Defense is gonna be bomb proof. I can take it into battle, it's gonna be good to go. And those lower parts is coming in at $105. Alright, and now the castle nut. Alright, so for the castle nut, I'm not gonna nuke it, guys. I'm just gonna go with a BCM mil-spec castle nut. Put it on there, do what I gotta do, stake it, move on with my life. Alright, and that's $7. Alright, for the end plate is also, the end plate is going to be from ADM. Since I'm getting the receiver set, they sell a QD plate, QD end plate there to set like a sling point. So if I'm already there, I might as well get it. It's just an end plate, and that's coming in at $29.95. Alright, as far as the buffer tube, again, I like to kind of keep it in the family. Since I'm getting like an ADM receiver set, I want to get an ADM end plate. Since I'm getting an ADM end plate and an ADM receiver set, now I'm going to get an ADM buffer tube. Alright, and so the reason why I'm also getting this ADM buffer tube is because instead of like the normal, I think 6 position stock like positions, you'll get like on one of these. The ADM buffer tube has 10 positions, so you get a lot more positions to find that perfect spot for your rifle, or pistol, whatever you want to call it. And that, where am I on the page? Goodness. Oh yeah, ADM 10 position buffer tube. That's $21.99. All right, moving on to the buffer system. Alright, so I'm going to go with the JP Enterprise Silent Captured A2 Heavy Buffer. Since it's going to be a carbine length 12.5, I want to make sure I have enough buffer to actually cycle in my firearm, and at the same time I want to make it as smooth as possible. And so I'm going with the JP Enterprise's Silent Captured Heavy Buffer system and spring, because it's all one system. You got the buffer and you got the spring in one little component. And that is coming in at $188.95. Alright, as far as the stock, my favorite butt stock on the market right now is the Magpul SLK. That's coming in at $39.95. But if I'm going to make this a pistol, I can't get a stock, so I'm going to go with the SB Tactical SBA3. In that case, that would be $169.99. So you got to debate, if you want to get the stock. Well, first of all, if you get the stock and it's 12.5, you gotta make an SBR. So you gotta take that $39.95, then add $200. All right. Now moving on to the pistol grip. My favorite pistol grip on the market is this Magpul K2 Plus pistol grip. I like it because it's more of a straighter angle, and at the same time, it has a rubberized texture. And I love that rubber texture because when I grip with bare hands or with gloves, I just feel like this thing is not leaving my hands at all. So I'm a big fan of rubberized, texturized grips. And that pistol grip is coming in at $24.95. Alright, and last thing on the list is the trigger. And I'm gonna go with the Geissele Super Dynamic Enhanced Trigger, the flat bow. I love the flat face triggers. Just like this. I love how it feels. I feel like I get a very consistent trigger pull on those flat face triggers versus curved. Granted, I can do both fine. I just prefer flat face. And that's coming in at $240, and that's again a 2-stage trigger. I'm going with the 2-stage trigger because it's gonna be a mini recce, so I'm gonna have like this scope. And then I'm gonna have like a red dot, so I'm gonna want, when I'm shooting long range, that be able to take up that little bit of take up before I break that shot and make it a little bit cleaner. All right, and so just the rifle itself, without all the other add-ons, when I make it a rifle, it's gonna be adding the $200 because I'm at the SBR. It's gonna be $2200.86. No, I'm sorry. Some of you guys were like, what? Alright, it's going to be $2,286.63. Alright? And so that is with the stock making it SBR. Alright, well, I'm going to make it just an SBA3 and a pistol. That is going to come out to $2,200, I can't speak today. $2,216.67. My mouth is getting dry. So that is $2,216.67 with the SBA3. And so, you know, you see the cost is kind of about the same. That's because, you know, the SB tactical brace is almost $200. Again, MSRP price. This is all MSRP price, not from, you know, third-party people or sales and stuff. This is everything straight from the manufacturer's website. All right, and so now we have our 12.5 rifle, pistol, whatever you want to call it. All right, so let me make sure I write this down so I don't forget. 228663. All right, so we're saving $70 with our pistol. All right, so like I said, this is a mini recce. So I'm gonna need some kind of magnified optic so I can reach out to that 500-yard distance that I want to shoot at. And so, browsing the web, I found a scope that I think is pretty good with enough magnification to reach out there, but also not enough magnification to where if I had to, you know, use it closely, up in close distance, it's not so magnified that I can't absolutely use it. Alright, and so I went with the, okay, I'm also gonna say I'm not a fan of like the one that's 6s, one that's 8s, one that's 10s like that if I'm gonna have a red dot. You know, there's no sense to me in my eyes. Again, this is my build, my mindset. You know, if I'm gonna have a red dot on there, why would I need another scope that can act like a red dot? I got the red dot. So I'm gonna have a scope that be a scope, and the scope is used for seeing things at distance. So I'm gonna get me a magnified scope. That's just me. No, if you want the one buys, do you. This is, again, my build. Alright, so for that magnified optic, I'm gonna go with the Ares BTR 2.5 to 15 by 50 APL3 first focal plane IR MOA HD scope. That's a lot of shit to say, but it's basically a 2.5 to 15 scope. Alright. First focal plane, I'm a big fan of first focal plane because that means at any magnification on that scope, my wind holds, my readings, my reticle in the scope is all true at any magnification. So that's why I'm a big fan of the first focal plane. Then it's the MOA reticle. So you got the dots on there. You know, you go MOA, you go mil dot. It's up to you. I just use MOA a lot, so I just kind of go with MOA. And that is coming in at $999.99. I feel like from here, the 500 yards at 2.5 to 15, that's perfect. That's good to go. You know, with my DMR over here, the 16-inch, I was making shots past 500 with a 3 to 12. So 3.5 to 15, 2.5 to 15 is perfect. And again, it's a 2.5. So that way, no, if a red dot went down, no, I actually had to use it indoors. It's not so much magnification like a 4x or a 6x, just right off the bat that I can't even absolutely use it. So that's why I went with that. That's, again, my mindset, and that's what I want on my AR, my perfect AR. All right, and moving on to the red dot. Since I'm gonna have a red dot, I'm gonna have my red dot mounted at the 90-degree position. I'm a big fan of that because, you know, I was playing around with like the offsets, and you know, it's cool. Like if you have like an offset on the, like say the right hand side of the rifle because you're a righty, you know, you tilt it and you can use it. Basically, I'll use it like this. Pretend my magnifier is that offset, now that 45-degree offset, you know. So you're shooting, boom, boom, boom. Now you go through the house, you're using it, but when you have the transition weak side, now you're doing something funky like this. It doesn't feel comfortable. It's actually more strenuous on your body to kind of have it at this weird angle like this. And so, not a big fan of that. I tried rocking it for a while on one of my DMR gun, over here. I just was not liking it because when I had to transition shoulders, I basically couldn't use it. And so my mindset is to go with the 90-degree red dot, with the red dot just sitting right on top. So if I transition shoulders, it's 90 degrees. And so for the red dot, I'm gonna go with the Leopold Delta Point Pro Reflex Sight. It's a 2.5 MOA dot, so I'm gonna get a nice tiny dot, not gonna be so big. And it's coming in at $449.99. And honestly, I think that was the Amazon price. But yeah, that's the one I'm going with because one, I look at the comparison of red dots, you know, the RMRs and shit, and like the Vortex, and you know, the Hollow Sun, whatever the one, like the 507C, I believe. So many numbers, it's hard to remember them all. The Leopold had like the biggest window of them all, which means I got the biggest field of view through the Leopold, and so that's why I went with that particular reflex sight. Alright, so now I'm gonna have to have something to mount my scope and my red dot on. So for my scope mount, I'm gonna go with the Geissele Super Precision Scope Mount. I'm not gonna nuke it. I went with Geissele because I know Geissele's bomb proof, so I know if I got a scope mount from them, it was just gonna be good to go. I didn't have to question it. So that's coming in at $325. That's what you have to pay for no questions. You know the shit's just gonna work. Alright, and so on top of that, I'm gonna need a red dot mount to mount that red dot, and that's coming in at $114.95. Alright, you seeing how all this adds up. Like I posted a picture of like the final price of most of all this stuff here, and a lot of people were like, dang, how do you spend that much money? And this is how you do it right here. Alright, and so now we have our scope and our red dot, so we have our optic situation good to go. Alright, now we're going to need a white light. We're going to be able to need to see because we might be engaging in dark situations or at night. So I'm going to go with the Streamlight TLR RM2. This thing right here. I love this light because it's at the 90 degree. I can sit on the rail, or if I wanted to mount it to the side, I could. But I decided to mount it at the 90 degree position. Again, for another add-on I'm gonna have to give it some space on the rail for it. Oh yeah, that's what I forgot to mention. The Midwest Industries rail is 11.5 inch. Alright, I forgot to mention that. Alright, so, but anyway, I'm gonna mount the light on the top of the rail like this, so it's smooth on the sides. And then the next add-on when I get down on list is gonna go right behind that light, mounted on the rail, because it's gonna come off at an offset, 45 degree offset. So that's why I didn't want a flashlight at a 45 degree offset, because I was gonna have my other system, well I might as well just fucking say it. I'm gonna have the IR device right here at the 45 degrees, so it was gonna conflict. Alright, and so I liked it up here, and I was gonna have the IR off to this, mounted off to the side, or at least, you know, I'll explain later what it is, but it's gonna be off to the side. And then that way when I go to grip my rifle, you know, I have enough room for my hand to go through, and if I have to go weak side, I have enough space to still get behind it. And so this light is 1,000 lumens. I've actually used it in the dark. I actually really like this light. You can see far with it, you can see down the street, you know, so it's a legit light. I like it, it's good to go. And that stream light is coming in at $159.87. Alright, so like I was just talking before, I was gonna have a laser. You know, again, it's my perfect AR15. Of course, it's gonna have an IR laser device. And so what I was gonna have, imagine this rail was like a little bit longer, because this is a 10-inch rail, and the Midwest Industries rail is an 11.5-inch rail, and this barrel is an 11.5-inch barrel. So imagine the rail being a little further out, so the light's gonna be a little further out too. I was gonna move that maul right behind the light because it has the push pad and not like a switch, and the BE Myers maul C1 IR visible laser. That has like the controls of it pretty much sit on top of the rail at that 90 degree position, and the actual IR device, I don't have one. I have a magazine. Pretend this is the BE Myers maul, right? And so it's gonna sit, you know, like that, you know, off to the side here, and the light's gonna be right there. And so when I have to switch hands, I can put my hand behind the IR device, you know, come over, and then my hand is sitting right here, ready to hit any pad, the IR device or the flashlight if I need be. So that's why I went with this light and the B.E. Myers Mall. And the B.E. Myers Mall is coming in at a budget price of $2,700. Budget. If you ain't got that in your pocket, then what you doing? Alright, so that is my light and my IR system. Alright, so coming in for the suppressor, the reason why I want the Surefire War Cop is because I want the Surefire SOCOM 556 SB2 suppressor. This suppressor is designed to be made with short barrel rifles. In this case, specifically 556, which is what I have. And so it's also 12.5, so short barrel. Alright, so that's why I went with that suppressor, and that's coming in at $1,099. And then you gotta add $200 for the government. Yes, Uncle Sam's gotta get his cut. Alright, so that is the suppressor. That's how I'm gonna tap motherfuckers at night and nobody's gonna know. Alright, now my bipod. Since it's gonna be a mini recce, I wanna be able to go prone and be stable from that prone position. The reason why I'm going with this bipod is twofold. Alright, so when I do need it and when I don't need it. Alright, and so the bipod I'm going with is the Atlas B10 LW17 bipod, the V8 bipod. Alright, and that's coming in at $279.95. Alright, so the reason why I'm going with the Atlas bipod is because of a number of reasons. One, this specific model is a QD. So it clips on to a Picatinny rail, and then it has a QD, and that's because sometimes I want the bipod, sometimes I don't want the bipod. And it's nice to have the option to just click it on, click it off if I want to. And then on top of that, the Atlas bipod is, I think, really the greatest bipod manufacturers out there right now. You know, you got Harris below that, but Atlas is, I think, king right now. And you know, I like all the adjustments, solid adjustments, good material. It's not gonna wear or break on you easily. Oh yeah, well, I forgot. You know, you can set your bipod up. You know, legs at different angles. So if you're on an uneven terrain, you'll have one down and one here. So you know, if you're doing some weird shit. And you know, it's got you can turn, so you can have your bipod mounted. And let's say you're tracking a running target. Then you have your bipod still, and you can still traverse left and right. And it's also got cant with it, so you know if you gotta kind of just a little bit like that, or just turn just a little bit, it has that features in it, and so that's why I really want a bipod. When I honestly get a bipod, I'll look for make sure the legs lock and cant, that little side and traversing. So if we can do those three things, I'm pretty much happy with it, and of course make sure it locks up well. So Atlas bipod is what I'm gonna go with that. And of course I'm gonna have to mount it to an M-LOK rail. So an M-LOK rail from Magpul is $9.45. You know, it's not expensive, good manufacturer, and it's a solid lockup. I have a number of Magpul rails. I've never had an issue with them. Alright, so I'm gonna have a Verdi on there. So I'm gonna have a BCM vert grip like this. It's gonna be $18.95. I like how it feels. I like that little angle that it has. I feel like it allows me to kind of pull it back my shoulder a little bit better than just a standard vert grip. But again, that's personal preference. Alright. And okay, my sling. I'm gonna go with the Vickers padded sling. And goodness, so much junk everywhere. It's around here somewhere. Alright, whatever, I'm not gonna go look for it. But I like the Vickers sling. It's got the quick adjustment tab on there, so you know if you want to bring it tight to your body or give you some slack, you can do it rapidly. It's padded, simple, and it's good to go. Simple and efficient. That's what I like. And it's $59.95. Alright, next I want a way to retain my sling. when I don't need it or in a situation. So I'm gonna go with the Sentry strap, Neomag Sentry strap. All right, and that's coming in at $34.99. And let me go through the list one more time, one more again. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay. All right, so just the add-on, not the rifle, just the add-ons is $6,452.09. Of course, most of that money, half of that is your IR device and suppressor. All right, so $6,000, guys. So to have your perfect rifle, $2,300, you in there. To have all the stuff you want, $6,500, you in there. So what does that bring us to? Well, if you want to SBR this perfect rifle, Mr. LocsNLoad, that is going to be $8,738.72. And if you want to keep this as a pistol, it's going to be $8,668.76. So guys, that is my perfect AR-15 right there. I just need you guys to donate to me $9,000. Now I can have my perfect AR-15 and I'll never have to buy another one again. So if you guys want to donate to the LocsNLoad Perfect AR-15 Fund, please donate to the Cash App here, and please donate. Say annotate in the summary line that is for the perfect AR-15. All right, guys. So I appreciate you staying here while I babble about what I've been thinking about in my perfect AR-15. Hopefully this has helped you build your perfect AR-15, and if you have a list, what would be your perfect AR-15 and how much would it cost? Put it down in the comment section and let me know. Anyway, guys, if you're looking to support the channel, you can donate to the Cash App, you can join the Patreon team, or you can sign up for a classic consultation at LocsNLoadFirearmInstruction.com. You can also support us at WagundaNation.com or go to LocsNLoadFirearms.com and support me there. Anyway, guys, I thank you for watching the video. Stay dangerous. I was gonna say something else, but yeah. Stay dangerous. LocsNLoad out.